Rat Tails here. What did you get?
What? I'll show you. Well, I'll tell you.
Okay.
We're also on.
We're on and we're live.
We're on and we're live like every single week.
Do 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 do. Do you know what song that's from?
No.
It's Are You Afraid of the Dark? And that's pretty much what this episode's about.
It kind of is.
Are you? Because we're double dosing paranormal.
I think maybe
Today.
that's the name of this episode too.
What? Are you afraid of the dark?
Yeah.
Oh, it should be.
2020 version.
That'll reel them
Vision.
in.
It always does.
Reeling them in. We have the best titles. You guys like our titles? Do you get them? They all make sense if you really listen.
It's
If you listen close.
pop quiz hot shot.
What is that from?
Speed. Dummy. Come on.
Keanu and Sandra? Wait, is
Yeah,
Keanu
that's
in
correct. Yeah. And Dennis Hopper.
it? You know how I like Keanu Reeves.
We all know that you love. And he's secretly in your house right now.
He is. Actually, he's at
Under
work.
the ruse.
He's not. I don't like Keanu Reeves as much as I like Chris Carmel.
You do love yourself some. I was like, who's Chris Carmel?
That's my boyfriend. I know, he sounds fake. He's real.
He's a real life guy.
He's a real boy.
Okay, so how was your week?
It
Hello. And
was good.
namaste.
I was doing some demolition in
Yeah, you were.
our place that we're making at a little event.
1 minute, my cat's
space.
knocking on the door.
Knock, knock. Colonel. Colonel's at the door.
Come on.
He literally just knocked,
Yep.
pretty much.
Oh.
He literally did.
She literally did.
Cats are fucking weird.
They are weird.
You know, I've grown a lot more fonder of cats lately.
That's because they're the best. Okay. Anyway,
Let me tell you about that.
let me
No,
tell
I'm
you
just
about
kidding.
that.
How was your week?
It was good. I got my results back from my ancestry.
Oh my
Does
god.
everybody want to hear?
Yes.
Do you know how I told you that my dad's like always like, yeah, that's just the German blah blah
Yeah,
in
yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah.
Turns out, we are 0% German.
Yes.
I mean,
That's just the German in me.
He could be like 1%, and it could have gotten washed out from my mom's Hispanic side, but nowhere close to being like thinking that he's like 60%
Mostly.
German. I'm actually, let's see,
That's awesome.
which is kind of funny to me because I've always had like this draw to like England and that kind of side of the kind of area of the world. I kind of mucus brain, so I apologize if I'm like words.
Mucus brain.
It's fine. It's not SARS. I mean, whatever's going on right now. It's kind of
If you have SARS right now, I think I need to jump out that window.
right. Anyway, so
If you
I
start
always
getting a weird
when I was when I was little, I was like, Daddy, are we like, do we have like any like English in us? And then he's like, no. And he's like, we're all German. Turns out we're like 60% England. I'm like,
You were intuitive about
I
that
was
shit.
intuitive.
You knew.
England, Wales, and northwestern Europe.
Oh,
Yes.
60%?
60. I was like, that's a big chunk to be like, we don't have any. We have all German. I was like, turns out we have like no German. However, and we only have like
British.
2% Swedish. And then I have some and like 2% Greek. So
Hell yeah.
I guess Sweden is
Are
kind
you
of close
Hispanic at all?
Oh God, yeah. A lot of it's from like
You're just not.
it's from my. It's like kind of like the southern Texas kind of area.
Oh,
so indigenous Americas,
You,
Mexico.
oh my god, cool.
I know. Oh, and I'm also 11% Irish and Scottish. So
Well,
I'm very.
Who the fuck would have known?
I'm all the things that my dad and my grandfather told me I was not. I'm like, what the fuck, you guys?
Maybe they just like, maybe they have a weird past with
Or
them.
they were lied to, and they're like, we are not English or something. I wonder, like, maybe there was like a bad marriage, and they're like, we denounce being English, and so I don't know. I'm not
Who
quite
knows?
sure. Who knows?
That's cool that you're
I'm
like-
also 1% North African. Bitch! Turns
What's
out
up?
I'm 1% that bitch.
You
Just
are
1%. Just 1% though. It's probably from the whitest part of Africa, so it's fine.
These people, no.
No, but it's cool because it
That's
kind of
pretty
gives you like a little
cool.
map.
And it's just on your,
It gives you like a little map of what
just on
region.
your phone, and you
Yeah,
can like look where you were from.
yeah. But my dad was
That's
like,
a big part of North Africa, bitch.
they're like, we
You
don't
Egyptian
know.
and shit.
It's like
Just kidding.
kind of this area. We don't know, but it's kind of cool. Like it shows you kind of what. Yes, exactly. So I roll.
You are from the Western Sahara.
I am.
Spanish.
I know.
Whoa.
So I'm like a big giant mutt.
And
but
you
I
had
feel
to
like
like prick your finger or spit in a
you
tube.
spit like in this little tube, and then you shake it up, and then you just send it off to a little lab. You just spit in a cup.
Wow.
So it's kind of cool. So yeah, so found out a lot that I thought I was and was not any. So
Well, we know your heritage and my birthday situation, so that's pretty neat.
it's true.
That's fucking cool that you can just like go on your little app.
It's true. And I guess if
Does it give you a family? What's the one that gives you like a family tree?
you can do that on this, like you can like
Or you have to create it?
you can you can like enter your stuff in like this is again my dad was like, I'm not doing that because then the government's gonna have my saliva. I'm like, what are they gonna do with it? Really? Create like 4 more of you? No.
Great.
Good God.
I hope so.
I think it's like he was like, then they can track me. I'm like, what are you doing? I don't even understand what's happening. Okay.
They can
I'm like, I don't even understand what that.
I mean,
that is.
They could eventually.
They could eventually. Anyway, so, yeah. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, I guess you can put it in the database and you can like let it be public so people could kind of find you. So that's how people can. Like see like if you have like long lost ancestors and stuff like that, but they have to be they have to put their stuff in the, so I think there's been some connection on here, but not a whole lot. But anyway,
Cool.
it was kind of cool, so that was neat.
Can you find, so you can find like specific people that you were related to, like,
Yeah, as long as they put their stuff in the database. Yeah, so like it automatically connected me because it matched like, oh, you're related to this person because your DNA is the same or whatever. Oh, so it's kind of cool.
that is cool.
Yeah, it's super
so,
cool.
like long lost cousins. And
There's some cousins on here that are older that I don't even know who they are. So, and they're I think they're in Texas, but I wasn't looking that closely.
I just go out.
I'm not looking to meet more people in my life.
You're not?
No.
Well, when I go to a family
30
reunion
and
in
antisocial.
Nebraska,
Oh,
there are
yeah?
like 1,000 people.
Really? You see, that's what we did. Like,
It's insane.
we did,
It's like over 1,000.
I want to say like 15 years ago, we did like a family reunion. It wasn't like that many people, but we still stayed in our collective, like, we didn't mingle. We just stayed in our collective, like, little family bubbles. We're like, she can't sit with us.
You had
They
your
can't sit with
shirts
us.
on.
We did. The Petrazine family reunion.
Petrazine.
Petrazine.
Is that Spanish?
It's,
It's Italian.
oh my God. It was
Petrazine.
it was a whole thing. Like,
Have to go and get the Petrazine.
my grandfather didn't want, I think on my grandma's side didn't, no wait.
I think we talked about
that they didn't want to be Hispanic. So he made it out like they were more Italian because they could be accepted more.
Got it. So, were you Italian at all?
I'm not, I'm not any,
was just they
remote-
wanted
I just
to
like
be
your guys' pasta.
Your gazes.
Your guys' pasta.
I kind of want to do it, but
You should.
I'm supposed to be literal because my mom's supposed to be 100% Italian. My dad's supposed to be 100% German heritage.
So really, it should just be a 50-50.
It should be, but who knows?
You could have a
I
little
always
North
thought
African
I was
in there.
Native American, but
Well, and they always told me, like, well, I mean, we were a big chunk also Native American. And I'm like, indigenous, indigenous, like, Americas, like, in Mexico, that's not really Native American. I don't know why.
I mean that's an American.
There could be some,
Americas.
yeah, there could be just some, like, Texas tribes that's what they're talking about. But yeah, no, it's mostly, I don't know, Texas Mexicans and English apparently.
Texicans.
Like Texicano. Anyway,
Texicano. Was that a bad thing that I just said?
no,
Okay.
I don't think so.
I was just combining
I mean,
two words.
I wasn't offended by it, so I don't know.
Like Brangelina.
But who knows? Like, I'm sure somebody will get offended by it. Let's be honest.
I'm sorry.
Anyway. Okay, so what'd you roll?
I rolled paranormal. What'd you roll?
The same thing. Double header.
And we always get scared when we do roll double.
Yeah.
That we're going to
because the internet is
about the same thing.
Such a small world that we would definitely...
I like really very honestly thought that the last 2 times we double rolled that we were going to do the same thing.
That's fair.
So I'm glad. We didn't.
We did not. You're on the East Coast and I'm on the West.
Yeah, I'm on the East Coast.
Yep. And I'm in your stomping grounds.
Yeah, California. Are you like on the Central Coast?
Where's the Central Coast? Like where? What? Give me some towns.
San Luis Obispo, Rio Grande, Pismo Beach, Monterey,
no.
San Simeon,
no.
Cambria.
I'm more on the northern end.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, I guess that was a dumb question. Where's the Central Coast? In the middle of it, you dumb idiot.
Is that what I said too?
No.
But you did mean specifics.
I did.
There is a town called Carmel in California that I would like to take Chris Carmel.
That's funny.
To visit. It is one of the most beautiful places.
You can get all those. Seen. You can get all those like really tacky like signs.
I know.
Yes,
like,
it'll be great.
So many.
It'll be perfect.
He has glasses from there from his like grandma or something because she went there.
She's like, look, it's clever because it's your last name.
It's our last
Thanks,
name.
Grandma.
Thanks.
Why don't you just give me a plaque that says "Live, Laugh, Love"? It's the same.
Hey, those are all right, Shay.
Are they? I don't know if we can be friends. Okay. Okay.
I might have gotten that as a gift one time.
Well, as long as you didn't buy it, then there's no judgment.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Anywho.
All right.
Should we get into it?
Let's get into it because my mucus brain is like, I don't know what to do next.
Yeah,
okay.
I forgot. I forgot how to do this.
Oh, we're also drinking Bloody Marys.
I don't know.
It's fine now.
I don't know. It's on?
It's on. It's on.
Oh my god, your cat looks evil. Great. Ready just in time for the ghosts.
Oh. Wait.
The cat was like perking its ears up at me and like looked like a demon cat.
Well.
But he's fine now. He's just resting on my purse.
Oh, good. He does
one hand on the purse, one on the bed.
He does like a little coin
Look at his
purse.
ears. What is he doing?
He's just sniffing. I mean,
with his ears?
I don't know. God damn it. He's just curious. He's a curious little kitty cat.
Speaking of ghosts, so the house that we're renovating is that house I've talked to you guys about demon earlier.
Freaking gross.
That is like creepy and
a giant hole in the
floor.
went
into the crawl space the other day too. The creepy demon crawl space.
Did you put sage up your ass afterwards? Because
no,
you
I
should
didn't.
have.
I didn't, but I felt okay. I had to get the cat because the cat went down there because there's a big hole in the floor now because we took out the fireplace. I would just be like, well,
guess you lived a good life, Nala. Goodbye. I'm not doing that.
I got her. I didn't want her to die from the fucking insulation rubbing.
That's fair.
She was like rubbing up against the insulation. I was like, get her out of there.
She's like, this feels good, nice on my skin.
And then we had to separate her and lock her in the laundry room while we were doing
something on
stuff.
There. It's probably like, this smells like mice.
And then she I accidentally opened the door. She got out, jumped right down in there, and that's when I had to go get her because
well, you didn't die, so that's good.
I didn't, not yet. Hopefully, I don't have asbestos poisoning.
Well, if you do, just it's
probably it's
probably just as good as putting Bath and Body Works lotion on your skin.
Perfect. You're right.
Hashtag sponsor us. So. Anyway,
maybe not.
Where are you taking us?
I don't need free Bath and Beyond Body Works.
Where are you taking us?
I'm taking you to Weston, West Virginia.
Ooh, that's
and we're gonna be visiting the Trans Allegheny Asylum.
Oh,
have you ever heard of it? I figured you have because it's
I am so glad I almost did an asylum. I don't think I was going to do that one, but I think I might have looked at that one.
Oh my god, how funny.
Is it when I start rattling some stuff off, I'll be like, oh yeah, I was almost going to do that one.
Well, it was a fucking asylum for 100 years. Okay. So over 100 years. For some reason, it was.
Oh.
It was built in 1860, It's
fine.
They started building it in 1861.
Okay.
And it pretty much was running until 1994.
Ew.
Isn't that fucking gross?
That's disgusting. Which I'm sure they didn't
Can
clean
you
the shit off the
imagine?
walls a lot of those times.
Oh, just wait for some
Okay.
stories. So it is a 242,000 square foot. I just like farted with my mouth.
You farted
Hope
with
you
your
guys,
mouth.
did you hear that?
Do you smell
It
it?
was like, anyways, 242,000 square foot building. Fucking huge.
Was it always that size, or do you know? Probably.
It was always meant to be that size.
Damn. All right.
And it's ironically sits on 666 acres and right now currently has 13 buildings on it.
So it's
which
not
I don't know
torn
if that
down.
was on purpose, but it does sit on 666 acres. Oh, it's
Jesus.
still standing and running now. Not as an asylum,
Oh, I was like, what?
as a place for people to fuck it. It's like a big museum and a bunch of different tours and shit.
Okay.
But I'll tell you
That's
about
kinda
that
cool.
later.
Okay.
So the hospital's main building is claimed to be one of the largest hand-cut stone masonry buildings in the United States.
Jesus.
And is the second largest hand-cut sandstone building in the world, with the only bigger one being the Moscow Kremlin.
Familiar.
And
I just don't know from what.
Google it if you want to look at it.
I won't.
Yeah, so this building, this asylum, insane asylum, is the second largest stone masonry building.
Damn.
Yeah, kind of
That's
crazy.
insane.
Yeah. So, and the Weston Hospital main building, which is what it was later called, is designated a National Historic Landmark,
Okay.
even, which we'll understand why. So it served as a sanctuary for the mentally ill beginning in the mid-1800s,
Sanctuary.
housing, quote-unquote lunatics, but
just looked at
we'll
that was-
find out later that housed more than just crazy people.
I just
And
love.
the term "crazy people" was was a wide.
Yeah, they're like
term
she drinks a
back then.
lot. So, yeah.
Yeah. Let's give her shock therapy.
I just love that lunatic was at one time a medical term.
Oh yeah, it's great. And then like, yeah, it's crazy. I'm glad that we've come a long way, but there's still we're still learning so much about mental health.
It's definitely a catch-22 that they all like a lot of those places got closed down. Like I think it was in like the 80s and then like the early a lot of the big hospitals but then they just released them to the wild and they don't get the help that they really need. They weren't getting the help then, but they're really not getting the help now.
Yeah, and it's it's better, but is it really? I mean,
It's
they're
just
not
sad.
fucking torturing people on it, thinking that it's
1000%.
helping them, but
There are a lot of they're
there's a lot
homeless
of
and
fucked up
it's
shit.
sad.
Yeah. So, known for its relevance in the mental health history, unfortunately for many horrible treatments of the patients that contributed to the tens of thousands of lives that were claimed here during its time of operation. So, it's known for being a pillar of the mental health
Perfect.
industry or mental health.
Gross.
But yeah, they did some crazy shit there. Just like they were doing. That's my phone. It's
I was like,
Jingle Bells.
Santa?
It's also the third time it's rang, so maybe
Yeah,
I should look at it.
why is it Jingle Bells?
Because I haven't changed it.
I enjoy that I actually
And I'm
in my
afraid.
brain I was like, is Santa coming?
Santa Claus
That was a
is
legitimate
coming.
thought in my brain,
It's
which
a
is
ghost.
upsetting. I was
They
like,
ring
it
a
must be
bell.
the fever dreams.
Are you hallucinating?
I might be.
So people that weren't able to be controlled were even locked in cages there. And thousands of lobotomies have occurred there.
I legitimately started doing notes on this.
You did?
I did, and then I stopped, and I was like, no, I've already done an asylum one, so I need to do something different right now. I'm so glad I did. That would have been hilarious.
Oh my God,
your
yep.
your intuition would have been right,
Good.
but it was wrong.
Good. I'm glad that
Anyway.
you felt that you needed to change.
Yes. Anyway, so they were locked in cages if
If they couldn't be controlled,
so they were just like these little
they had cages and
like a kennel.
a kennel thing, I think.
Ugh, how horrifying.
I think they were maybe a little bigger than a dog kennel, but
Probably not much because they
No.
probably didn't. Ugh.
And as we'll find out, there wasn't a lot of room for the eventual amount of people that ended up going there.
I think I remember seeing some of that numbers. I was like, what the because how many rooms have you said? How many rooms?
No, but I'll get to that.
Okay, because that was sad.
So, yeah, like I said, thousands of lobotomies have occurred there, and I'll get more into that too. And
Gross.
I didn't realize, which is on my part probably pretty silly, but I like didn't realize like because people are always like, oh, I need a lobotomy. Like I didn't realize like the definition of a lobotomy is like this horrific.
I didn't know till I was a little bit older.
Mental illness,
Right.
Like,
I didn't really know either
to
until
help people, but like what?
And that's what was so crazy because there's a great sorry, I don't mean to sidestep it, but like there's a great documentary on like which you like PBS. So you've probably watched it's not Nova, but it's like American. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's like called like the American something. You've probably seen a couple of the American Experience. So there's one documentary on there that talks all about the lobotomies and that it was like this praise practice. Like it was like
They had commercials about it.
It really helps. Hey, is she just feeling worn? Is she too pooped to party?
Like Time Magazine reported on it being like the most
innovative,
like, the most pivotal. Yeah,
it's just like is she just like it's just like the vitamin and vitamin commercial off of like I Love Lucy, and then like, they're like, hey, this will give some pep in her step, and she won't be depressed no more. I mean, yeah, she drools a little bit more, but it's fine. Like seriously,
yeah, seriously.
But anyway.
And then they would have like before and after pictures, and
they're just
I
like,
think they did. It did actually like maybe help some people, but for the most part, it was fucking them up more.
Right.
And
just like
they were just like fucking around with their fucking brain tissue,
right?
To like hopefully this helps.
Go through the nose and go through the eye.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that.
Sorry. Oh, okay. Keep
but
going.
let's talk about something more pleasant because
In the asylum
wasn't always a nightmarish facility. It wasn't.
For the first year.
So, in fact, when it was commissioned in the early 1850s, the conception marked one of the first hopeful developments in centuries for mental patients because we all know back then they were doing some crazy
Oh, for sure.
therapies, quote unquote, for people that was like could be considered torture.
Oh, I'm
like
yeah.
for sure.
1000%.
Like, oh yeah, this will help you. Just knock them out, and
It's
they're fine.
Exactly.
Literal knocking the sense into them. Anyways,
Gross.
so the building was the brainchild of a man named Thomas Story Kirkbird.
Okay.
Kirkberg. I don't know how to say his last name very well. He was a doctor and a crusader for the mentally ill. And he founded what at the time would be known as the American Psychiatric Association. It was built on this foundation that was established by a famous reformer, Dorothy Dix, and she sought out to disprove people's misconceptions about mental illness, which is that back then they just thought it was a shadowy, irreversible condition best treated in darkness and with force and physical restraint. So this woman was like kind of the start of like this movement of like there's probably a better way to go about treating these mental patients because I don't think this is actually
them
helping.
in the hammer or in the head with a hammer in the dark.
Yeah,
This is essentially probably with like that's fine.
this will be fine.
It's fine.
So
So it had good intentions. It really did.
it did have good intentions.
Okay.
He did have some shaky science behind his medical ideas, but it undeniably led to a more humane and all-around more effective plan of treatment for the residents.
Okay.
He had a nice plan.
Yeah, it was like it looked great on paper.
It got really fucked up though.
Yeah.
So
wasn't executed right.
So he emphasized the importance of light and fresh air, suggesting that asylums be built as long halls with 12-foot ceilings, plenty of windows and ventilation that allowed for cross breezes. This is why his building was fucking humongous. And he made it a beautiful building so like you wouldn't feel like you're a fucking, oh, you're crazy. Here, go in a dark fucking room and get better.
Yes, exactly. But see,
So that thought was a stepping stone for sure in our understanding. And he tried.
it's just like you were talking about with the sun rays. You just need some
You
sunshine.
need that melanin in your skin.
It'll heal the craziness
And
right
they
out of
definitely didn't have blue light back then.
you. No, they did not.
They probably used fire.
it's
No, they didn't.
Right in their
They had
face.
some electricity.
right
I
in their
think.
face.
Anyway, so that was nice. He also emphasized freedom. Mental patients, he felt, should be allowed to roam as much as possible and find stimulation for their minds. Great.
Fair,
What
yeah.
a fucking great, like,
I mean, it's a good thought.
that was, that.
It's a good thought.
That
Not chaining them
was
to a bed.
monumental.
Right.
Yeah.
Flash forward to the people in cages.
Yeah. So they would behave better, not worse, if given more control over their lives, which makes fucking sense.
Right.
And we
That does make
kind
sense.
of, it definitely helps now, I feel like. I
Yeah.
mean, it doesn't cure anything, but like, why would making them feel more
Trapped.
and secluded and different
They're
and
already trapped in their minds.
Exactly. Anyways, so his ideas inspired the construction of 73 different Kirkbride hospitals across the country, and one of them was this Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum was the original name. Lunatic Asylum, what a
Ooh.
dang.
Just gonna go to the lunatic asylum.
So they started building it in 1860, I believe, but construction was interrupted by the outbreak of the American Civil War
That's crazy.
in 1861.
Really
So
didn't happen that long ago. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
What's so crazy.
Not that long.
Yeah. Anyway, so go on. That's
So
just weird to me.
following it's I know it seems like it's so much longer
Unlike
though, but it's not.
the country was founded and the Civil War happened. That's in my brain always what it is, but I'm just like, we really aren't that old of a country.
No.
Anyway.
So following Virginia's succession from the United States, the government of Virginia demanded the return of the hospital's unused construction funds for its own defense.
Okay.
And then the 7th Ohio Volunteer Infantry ended up taking over part of the hospital, and they named it like Fort not Fort Tony.
It was Fort Tony Danza.
I didn't write it
And-
down. Fort Timothy or something like that. Fuck. I'm sorry. I forgot to write it down.
It's fine. I'm going to call it
But
Fort Tony Danza.
so it was like a fort for a while for this Ohio infantry, and then they ended up also robbing the bank across the street that
Perfect.
had the money for the hospital to be built, and
Good,
they
good,
ended
good,
up putting it towards the reestablishment of the reorganized government of Virginia, which sided with the northern states over the war, and then they appropriated that money back to sorry.
Fuck.
So basically what ended up happening is this money ended up helping West Virginia become its own state, and eventually. So the money that was for
The money that was stolen.
the money that was
Perfect.
stolen
Okay.
was reinstated to build this to make West Virginia its own state, and then West Virginia in turn were like, "Oh, we want to rebuild this hospital because we need it." And so they reinstated the money back to continue construction.
Quick question.
basically.
Wasn't Roanoke in West Virginia?
Yeah, I think so.
Dude, this
We
state
need to
is
do a Roanoke.
fucked. This
Yeah.
state is fucked up. Okay,
We
anyway,
haven't done
go on.
Roanoke yet.
No, but oh my god, Jesus Christ. Okay, go on.
West Virginia, take me home.
You're full of robbers and superstitions.
Yes. Some weird shit happens
Blood
there.
magic.
Perfect. So the hospital was renamed West Virginia Hospital for the Insane, and the first patients were admitted in October 1864.
Okay.
But construction on it continued until 1881. So
Oh,
they
shit.
still had patients, but they were still constructing this fucking building.
They're like, just give them a hammer. It'll broaden their minds.
Exactly.
Duh.
Maybe they'll hit him on the head.
Give them a cent or a
On
button
accident.
for payment.
So originally it was built to house 250 patients comfortably, each with their own comfortable room.
And then what happened?
They even had skilled stonemasons brought from Germany and Ireland to contribute to the architecture, to give them the open windows, the natural light, the fresh air. all
It
that.
sounds like it's almost like better than a lot of living conditions that probably were going on.
It
They'd be
is.
like, yeah, I like to lick cats. Like, I was crazy. Like, can I get a room, please?
Yeah, seriously. I mean, and also like I feel like the ideals here are better than ideals nowadays at a lot of these places.
1000%. The intention was really good, and it sounds like, they were really, it was like patients first.
Yeah. Which I wish Yeah. Anyways.
1000%.
So the
get where you're going.
even the grounds were magnificent and sustainable. They included a working farm, dairy, waterworks, gas well, and cemetery. It was completely self-sufficient facility. It was designed to make patients feel safe,
Like their
feel
own
at
little
home,
community.
well cared for, and restored.
Okay, like their own like little
community.
town.
They could
their
all
own
have
community.
and they could all partake in like doing things for the community that they were living in. Like,
Yeah.
that makes fucking sense.
Right, they're just trying to like build them. Like maybe if we do this, and they can feel like they have a worth, even though they're like maybe not thinking like no, they're just maybe some of them might be just out of their fucking minds.
Exactly.
But anyway, get
Yeah.
the intention. It was good.
Yeah. So then, in 1881,
Here it comes.
disaster struck.
Oh no.
So due to an increase in mental health diagnosis and the stigma surrounding the disease,
Okay.
because people thought, oh, if you're a little off, you're fucking crazy.
Right.
You gotta go.
Right? He
Like,
likes
people
to put
literally could just drop. They're like, oh, I don't like my family member anymore. She's crazy. So
Right.
here you go.
they like to separate their marbles.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So because of that, the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum found its tranquil facilities overrun, housing almost 500 more patients than ever imagined. So not just 500 patients, 500 more.
Right.
So they were up to 750 patients at this point,
Right. And so
which they were never supposed to have.
And
this
then
was supposed
that
to be a
also
nice place.
probably equals grossly understaffed. Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I guess they were just having to house them, because there was no other places to take them, I guess.
Interesting.
So at the beginning of the 20th century, the number of inmates climbed as the definition of mental illness started, including everyone from those with epilepsy to being an alcoholic.
There it is.
The hospital couldn't keep up, obviously. Conditions began to decline dramatically. Patients were crammed together with sometimes 4 or 5 to a room, intended for
Jesus.
one. The farm and dairy on the compound, originally designed to provide for 300, which was over what the capacity was,
Right.
were unable to meet the increased demand that came with the
shit.
overcrowding. So patients began to suffer from malnutrition, which only fucked up the mental health illness even more.
I can't imagine.
Mental health.
I feel a little
I said
crazy.
mental hell.
But it was.
It was a mental hell for everyone.
It was.
So by 1938, the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum was 6 times over capacity.
It's like what 2000? Where is it at? 2000?
Yeah.
It's about 2,000 people. Yeah. I
Yeah.
think it was I read it was at one point it was
Yeah.
housing 2,500 people.
Yeah.
Which is bananas.
Yeah, so at its peak in the 50s, the hospital was holding 2,600 patients. I'm really glad we didn't do the same one.
Dude,
Shay.
I was right there, but I'm like, I kind of know some of the facts, so it's
Yeah.
like, I'm really educated. It's not. I just saw some quick facts on it.
So patients were sleeping on floors in freezing rooms due to lack of furniture and heat. They couldn't keep, they also had, shitty equipment. They could
Right.
not keep up with this.
No.
So the overcrowding resulted in overworked staff, decreased emphasis on sanitation, and the once bright, clear windows were covered with grime, darkening and further chilling the rooms.
Oh, I
the
bet.
wallpaper was peeling away from decay, and where it hadn't disintegrated on its own, the patients had torn it off and
no
panicked.
shit.
And worse still were the patients themselves. Those whom the orderlies deemed unable to be controlled had been locked in cages in open spaces in an attempt to make more bedrooms available for less worrisome inhabitants. So that's where the cages came in.
Can you imagine if you were an alcoholic and you're just like, I'm not even crazy enough for this shit. I don't, or if you're like, oh yeah, here's my wife and I'm dropping her off because she don't like to do the housework no more, so she's broken. Yeah. So here you go. Can being a sane person or being autistic. Being an autistic person being in there because they obviously probably thought those kids were or people were crazy, and just and can you imagine that autistic people got so overstimulated that they probably just went crazy within themselves because they were in that environment.
And there was just such a lack of knowing what to do about it that it was
this catch-all.
Yeah, it was just put them in this fucking building with everyone else.
That's so sad, and I can't imagine the smell.
So the asylum had also become a training ground for experimental lobotomies. Here they are. It was also known as a lobotomy project by Walter Freeman. He was a
Yeah.
famous surgeon and lobotomy advocate.
So that's what the American Experience documentary is about, this guy. And he was, like, all about it.
Yeah.
And it was sad.
Fucked up. So in the course of his lifetime, Freeman performed 4,000 lobotomies.
Which is insane.
Leaving sometimes perfectly healthy patients with lasting physical and cognitive damage.
No shit.
His ice pick method, which involved slipping a thin, pointed rod like an ice pick into a patient's eye socket
Gross.
and using a hammer to force it to sever the connective tissue in the brain's prefrontal cortex, resulted in a number of deaths.
No shit. Like, oopsie, I just need one more do-over.
Yeah. So, the asylum was also known for other therapies such as insulin shock therapy, in which patients were repeatedly injected with large doses of insulin in order to produce daily comas over several weeks.
Jesus.
What does that do? How does that help you?
They're like, I don't even know what to do anymore. Just
They
give him more
literally-
till he shuts up.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh my god.
Also, another thing was called the spinner chair, which was something like as little as if you didn't want to get out of bed, you were sent to the spinner chair, which would just spin you around really fast.
what the?
They'd strap you in and spin you around
What
till
was it
like
supposed to do?
it was supposed to
To just to
distort your life. I
and
don't
right
fucking
like
know.
make you
I
vomit,
don't
and
know.
then I guess maybe they thought like if
It just thought
they
it-
would make them lie down and then just not. That doesn't make any
I
sense.
don't understand.
Okay,
I don't
the
understand.
spinner chair.
And they still have these like in the asylum
so
that
it just
you can
shows
see.
the.
that
I would like
it
to go
shows.
see it just to see it,
It
but
seems
like
cool.
it sounds like very House on Haunted Hilly.
Send us there.
Gross.
They did also have art therapy, so that's good. But they have some of the art from the inmates, they call them,
Yeah.
displayed in the asylum now that you
Interesting.
can go look at.
Are they weird?
There's some weird ones.
Yeah.
And then on one, Ghost Hunters, there's a Ghost Adventure.
The one with Zach Baggins.
Yeah.
Yeah, douchebag
Who's ridiculous.
Yeah.
He's so ridiculous.
Fucking stupid. I can't
But
stand to watch
I
him.
watched a little bit of it, but they... Or no. This was a different one.
I'm
This,
here.
Actually, yeah, he was like... I was watching... They did a Ghost Adventures live at this asylum, and they like stayed there for 7 hours, and you could like...
vaguely remember that.
talk to them if they like had everything online, like different cameras online, and you could go online and watch like
Oh, that's
different
pretty cool.
rooms. So like if you saw something on the room, you could like text in and be like, there was something in this room.
Right.
But also I feel like people would just, I would like fuck with them,
I would
you
just
know?
be like, let's see him
like
run.
how many, like thousands of people just being like, there was something here, there was
Right.
something there,
Yeah.
there was something
Yes,
everywhere.
everywhere. Oh my word.
But no, it was actually a Jack Osborne and his wife have like a ghost hunting
didn't know
show
that.
or something on Travel Channel, or they did, because they went to the asylum and they did this thing where I forget the machine they had, but it was like this little machine, and it like beeped anytime there was like maybe some like communication from
Okay.
the other side or whatever, and they were like talking to him, and it was like they were talking to this ghost in this room, and they had this picture of like the murderer of this man, which I'll talk about in a little bit, and they showed this like sculpture that he made, and they're like, do you know who made this? And he like, there was like no response, and then they were like asking him questions about it, and then they took it away, and they were like, was that okay? And then there was actually a beep, and I don't know.
Weird. Okay.
Anyways, but they have artwork that is like from some of the people there that you can
some
look
made
at
out of
on
poo?
display. No, it's like actual artwork, but
I'm
it's
surprised
like
they gave
creepy.
them
There's a lot of
paints.
like lots of face sculptures and
I
stuff.
would imagine. Ugh.
So it's like, I don't know.
Sick.
So anyways,
Gross.
so yeah, after all this was going on, all this crazy therapies, and this was going on till like they were still doing lobotomies, I think, till like the 90s.
The 90s, really?
No, I don't know.
Maybe
Actually,
I
don't
feel
know
like
that's true.
But I feel like
I
it could
missed a
be
gap
right
in
because
my
honestly,
notes.
like were they ever doing like actual like electric?
They did electroshock therapy, definitely, for sure.
Okay.
They did a lot.
Because my one of my great aunts actually had that done, when she had a pretty. I mean, she's a super nice lady, but she had just some horrible trauma in her life. Like one of her daughters.
Well, they still do it, but it's different.
Yeah, 2 of her kids died when they were really young by like accidents.
Wow.
Just some really fucked up stuff. So she went a little crazy, obviously, and they did electric shock therapy. This was like probably in the 60s. And she's still, I mean, now she's got like Alzheimer's, but she's real fucked up from it. Like, real fucked up.
Yeah,
Like,
because back then, they do it. They still have electroshock therapy.
I didn't know that.
But it's, they
different.
know, like, the amount that you can, and it is beneficial to some people. And they
Really?
are, yeah. But back then, it was like, they were literally, like, electrocuting you.
Jesus.
Shocking you
Yeah,
back.
that's what she was getting.
You know?
The little bite guard and... Ugh, gross.
Yeah, it's not like that. I think it's literally like a buzz. Well, I've actually, like, physical therapy, is that what or those, like,
Some of it is.
magnetic things?
Yeah, I've
that
seen
you,
some
like,
of those and it kind of shocks you. I bet you that's more probably what it is now, but I don't know.
But there is it'll, like, you know, it just makes maybe your, like, toe twitch or something. But
No,
it's
like
that's
that
the
one was
kind
like
of
before it had
therapy.
like the helmet and the
Yeah,
and things, and
it's
then like
not
you
like
had a
that
bite
anymore.
guard and you were like having seizures. And fuck that. Anyway, go
Wow,
on.
that's crazy. Your great aunt?
So my grandma's sister.
Oh my god.
She, like when she was young, like, and it was like I think the 60s or it had to be the 60s or the 70s.
How old was she?
She had to be in her 30s. Wow. So our age. And but they didn't know. They just thought like, yeah, the doctor was like, yeah, just do this. And
That's so scary.
And she was okay, and she like she built like this amazing like business and everything else, but like as the years went on, she slowly deteriorated, obviously. So it had some repercussions.
Wow.
Anyway.
So after we realized that what people are doing to mental health patients is fucked up, they finally closed down this asylum in the 90s. And it was pretty much just left abandoned. People wanted to destroy it.
I would. Shit.
Like the state was like literally offer like
Tear that shit
they were like
down.
they were like, someone just buy it for $1, like. And this one family were like, we'll buy it for $1, and then other people were like, no, we want to buy it. And so then they ended up putting on auction, but pretty much everyone on the auction wanted to just destroy it except this
Right.
one family, the Jordan family, and they ended up buying the asylum.
Okay.
And
Then were
they
live in it?
basically like redid it,
Okay.
and basically started holding tours there,
Okay, that's kind of cool.
to pretty much pay for the renovations and pay to like
cool.
reinstate it, and like it just has gotten so much acknowledgement that it has, and now it's like houses a bunch of different museums, and they do historic tours, ghost tours.
Yeah.
They have a haunted house on the property.
Absolutely not.
That is the old tuberculosis wing.
Absolutely not.
I don't know if that's a real part of it, but that's what the lady was saying. It was the tuberculosis.
No.
Ward
Like
or
I
some
would I guess
shit.
it'd be like one thing like if you had like a haunted house like that was like where you build it and you tear it away. But if it was in the any type of actual building that was there, nope.
And they say that stone buildings, Jack Osborne was saying something about this. I forget the term he used, but like stone buildings hold more of an energetic,
I believe that for sure.
which makes sense.
It makes complete sense.
Kind of like a tape recording holds a recording, like it can hold energy in that way, like different
I
energetic
believe that.
events and stuff like that.
For sure.
Which is weird.
Fuck that.
Weird little whatever thing,
Gross.
something to think about.
I don't know
So
if I ever want to think about that.
So since 2007, tours have been made available for those who wish to see the asylum firsthand. Ghost hunters, the building's most frequent visitors, say they can feel the presence of hundreds who perished in shocking conditions. The actual ghost hunters were there in 2008, and they were the first to pretty much attract such a large crowd, and they were the first like show to go there, and it's attracted like so many shows after that to go there, and it's a huge destination
Oh, I'm
for
sure.
ghost hunters and
Movies.
paranormal thrill seekers alike. And it seems like a really fucking like cool property. Like there's a bunch of really cool old trees, and it's a very historic building. Like there's a big clock tower. Like it's really neat, but it's
Yeah.
also like there's some weird ass fucked up shit that went there. So,
Yeah.
and it's definitely haunted. So let's talk a little bit about some hauntings. So the most haunted section of the building, they say, is the Civil War wing. And it was the only section that had been finished in 1861.
Okay.
People are constantly hearing doors slamming, seeing them slam, opening, hearing people talking. Sometimes the doors will just like keep slamming, just back and forth.
Nope. Oh,
Bye-bye.
gross. Oh my god.
The pharmacy, the old pharmacy, was also in this wing and has a lot of activity as well. One former employee named Mike Heath was actually physically assaulted by a spirit in a group, like within a group of people.
What?
So there was 8 people in the group, and he was like in the group with everyone else, but he felt 4 fingers run down the middle of his back, and which pushed him into the middle of the room, spreading him like he like went through the crowd, like spread the crowd out, and like fell to the floor from this push from this fucking spirit.
And he just felt like just 4
4
fingers.
fingers go down his back and push him.
Nope. Oh god, that gives me like willies.
There's also apparently a little girl ghost named Lily that lives
Of course
here.
there's a little girl ghost.
And Lily is the name given to the child born to a patient at the hospital in 1863. So her mother was allegedly a woman named Gladys, who was one of the casualties of the American Civil War. The legend says that she was abandoned by her husband, and had been abused in her home by a roaming and raiding band of soldiers who beat and raped her repeatedly.
Lovely.
It is said that she went mad after this. Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah. And she was admitted to the asylum where she found herself pregnant, which I think she was pregnant when she got there.
Yeah.
And when the child was born, she was named Lily, and staff stepped in quickly to take the baby. The story relates that the poor child only lived a few hours, but today paranormal investigators flock from all over the world to visit Lily's room on the first floor of the hospital. They bring presents such as toys, stuffed animals, and candy, and they claim the candy disappears, and many have said that they have watched a plastic ball roll across the floor unaided, and almost as if a child is playing with it. One woman investigator on one of the haunted history tours said that she heard giggling in Lily's room, and when she was the only one present, like child giggling.
Gross.
And others has captured EVP, so electronic voice phenomena of little children's voices in that area as well. Which she was obviously a newborn, so that.
And they don't know how she died?
Well, she ended up dying just hours after she was born.
She just died.
So, yeah, I think just complications and things like that.
Well, I'm sure she had the prenatal care that she probably needed.
Probably not. Put her in a cage!
Why did she die?
Yeah.
That's interesting, but maybe there's another
But in that
kid.
area that is supposed to be Lily's room, they hear these children's voices and little
Maybe were there
toys getting played with and stuff.
I would imagine if it wasn't just adults that were there. I'm sure there were children there at some point that were dropped off.
That's true.
Oh.
Also, there's one room in the asylum called the Bedpost Murder Room.
Oh yeah, I heard about this one.
So the story of this room is
Gross.
there were 2 criminally insane men that were housed in this room, and one just mentally impaired man also in the room. But he was put in the room with these criminally insane guys because he would sometimes have these crazy outbursts that were
but he could take care of himself.
He was normally a very nice man, was usually not really bothersome, but he did have outbursts that they had to put him in this room, and they didn't have anywhere else to put him.
And
I guess
probably
because there
he
were
can
so
take
many...
care of himself.
Exactly,
He'll be fine.
So also, I think he was a mute or something too.
Aww.
But anyways,
That's sad.
So the two criminally insane men ended up tying the sheets together, tying them around the mentally impaired man's neck, hoisting him up from this large pipe in the room that's in the room.
Right.
They would hoist him up and pull him up and down to make him pass out.
Jesus.
And then they would lower him, and then they would lay him down, and one would hold him, and the other would put the bedpost on his fucking head and would jump on the bed. And then he died in that room.
Yeah.
Like that.
Gross.
So that's
disgusting.
a story of a haunted room. And there's definitely activity that people have felt, and they have lots of activity in that room. And this was where, like, Jack Osbourne, the room that they were in, when they were holding a picture of that one of the men that killed him made. It was like this like face mask thing.
Lovely.
And they held it in front of the whatever machine thing, and there was like no response, and then there was. So.
Gross.
Anyways, so Rebecca Jordan, who's the daughter of the owners, has lots of stories. Also, she does most of the interviews with people, and she fucking loves her job. Like, so
she's like, this is amazing,
and like is so like knows all the historical facts, like knows everything about it. Like,
well, that's pretty cool. That
like
she enjoys
like
it.
Her like it seems like this is probably weird, but like I feel like the people that work there now, like, and like this family, like really wants to take care and like, but also they want to show like how the mental health industry is so important, and how like this like, yes, we've gone a long way, but like
don't let this happen.
This cannot
it's
ever
almost
happen
like
again.
I'm not comparing this place to obviously any type of concentration camp, but it's essentially kind of like the same thing. The reason why they still stand is because it's just like a fucking painful reminder, like, don't let this shit happen again. Like, because it could. So,
and they just like to share the history of like,
which is very cool,
how we've progressed, but also like, this like, let's
don't do that again.
Seriously. So anyways, she believes the more you know about the history and what the people went through, the more likely you are to make contact with these spirits.
No, thank you.
She also believes to know of at least 7 or 8 specific ghosts lingering on the property, as well as hundreds of other spirits that, like, she knows the names of like at least 8.
Wow.
They think of the different ghosts that linger.
Right. The ghosts would be like, yeah, sure. It's Dave.
Her scariest encounter was when she was in the tuberculosis ward when she was working, because that's where they have their haunted house.
I was going to say the one where they have the haunted house? Yeah, perfect.
So, and I feel like they do it like year round.
I'm sure
or
they
maybe
do.
they don't. Maybe it is just like Halloween they do that.
They must have to sign like
she was talking about a season.
Sign like a humongous liability form.
Yeah, we should go though.
We can go, but I'm not going to that haunted house.
You can do overnight
Fuck that.
tours in the house for 8 hours. In the asylum, I mean.
Not.
Anyways, so
hard pass.
Her scariest encounter was when someone laid their hand on her shoulder and squeezed it. So she was in the tuberculosis room. And she's like, that's the last time I ever worked in that building. And she's like, and she calls it flushing herself. So she's like, I have to flush my brain so I can work here still, because like if I just thought about the things that happen, like I wouldn't be able to do it. So she's like, but that
that's a good approach.
When she felt someone squeezing her shoulder, she was like, that was like, I couldn't go back in that place.
So she's not crazy.
No,
she's practical.
Yeah. So also there's a restroom on the first floor where the spirits of 2 teen boys from the 40s are rumored to still linger. And I guess they're known to like gifts of cigarettes, mints, or gum. And you're supposed to like, and I guess there's other ghosts that like, they tell you they like cigarettes, like, so bring cigarettes to like offer to them.
That's hilarious. You'd be like, I'm going to leave this vape here for you, bro.
Mm-hmm. And then this is probably my favorite ghost story. There's this ghost named Jacob.
Okay.
So the first time Jacob was ever seen or talked to was during the 2008 Ghost Hunters show. Mm-hmm. And in the Ghost Hunter show, I guess they were saying that he was like about 29 years old, and he like just kept looking for his beer. He kept looking for a beer.
Okay.
And so
as you do.
3 years later, Rebecca received a gift, including patient admission forms from 1890 to 1892. Mm-hmm. And one name stood out to her a lot, and his name was Jacob Ayers. And when he was admitted as an alcoholic. And he was also very delusional, and he always thought everyone was hiding his beer. And she found this 3 years later, or she got this 3 years later after the ghost hunters like found this Jacob ghost on the
Interesting.
show. And it was from 1892. So
Damn.
that's just kind of cool.
That is cool.
She briefly talks about a ghost named Curtis, but I couldn't really find any other information about it. I'm
Yeah.
sure they try to keep some of it like
Yeah, which
under wraps. So
it's like Estes that like do not record anything. So I'm like, that's fair. I mean, it is
We
kind of
did.
cool to experience
We did
stuff
it.
without reading it like on the internet first. You know,
That's very true.
spoiler alert.
She also talks about these 2 ghosts that used to be mean.
Mm-hmm.
So there was one that they used to call Old Ruth, and she would like push people down. And then there's another guy they called Mean Jack because he would just like do mean things to people. But then once they stopped calling Ruth Old Ruth,
I was like gonna say maybe stop
and they
calling.
stopped calling Mean Jack Mean Jack.
All right.
They started being like stop like they wouldn't do that anymore.
Yeah. So maybe
They have feelings,
their feelings
too.
were getting hurt.
So they have like a policy like don't taunt the ghosts, like
use
be
shitty adjectives.
respectful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Be kind. They're in a sensitive state.
Even in the afterlife, use your manners.
Come on. So, and that is my stories.
Oh, I like it. I like it. And that.
And that's it.
That's it.
I was like, oh wait. So basically, it's creepy as fuck.
Yeah.
You can do overnight ghost tours, like I said. You can do historic tours.
No.
They do all sorts of shit during Halloween, obviously.
Nope. Nope.
And yeah, it seems like a really, I mean, and you can go to, like, they have also, like, when it was abandoned, like, they left a bunch of shit in the hospital, like fucking old beds and all that shit.
What's always the
So they kept
creepiest
that
stuff.
in there.
Yeah, so it's always the creepiest stuff when you see, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
For me, like, it's like when you see, like, those little gurneys that have, like, one big wheel and this one, like, bicycle wheel. I don't know why. It just freaks me out.
No, it's not good.
Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah.
that was spooky.
So, Western West Virginia.
Glad we didn't do the same story.
Yeah, me. I know.
Jesus.
Me too.
No, thank you.
It would have been like, all right,
This is
bye.
backwards.
Trans Allegheny Asylum. All right.
It was really, that was a good one.
It was. I hope that
I learned
you guys
lots of
got
things.
creeped out a little bit.
And,
Also, let's
be better.
like just now the mental health stigma is like going like away. Like
it is.
we all have shit we could be helped on, you know?
It's true.
Some are different than others, but
I mean, yeah.
also we shouldn't be treating people like they're prisoners if they have a fucking mental health issue
No,
or like fucking
anything. They shouldn't. But this guy's
I mean,
intentions was sound. But we should have a space for them at, in general. We don't even have that really. It's like either that or, it's either being homeless or being in prison, unfortunately. It sucks.
That's crazy.
It sucks. But anyway, you ready to get some more spooked out? Well, this one's not too spooky, but it's a good one.
Okay.
Okay. Moving
Ghosts.
on. Okay, ghosts. Okay, so
Paranormals.
you probably have been to this place on like a school trip or something.
Hearst Castle?
No. It is located in San Jose, California.
Oh, I've never been on a field trip there. So.
Oh, so we're good. Okay. I thought maybe you
We
had.
only went to the dump and the recycling plants.
Well, some people actually
And
thought this was that because
missions.
it was so insane. But anyway, so
Was it a... Never mind.
what?
A body dump?
It was not. Do they have those? Can you imagine the convenience
Oh, I
of
forgot
that?
to say that there's also 3 cemeteries. They had to build 3 cemeteries on the asylum property eventually because they had so many deaths on the fucking property.
I
It didn't even
believe that.
fucking say that.
Yeah,
What
and
a dummy.
I
I
forgot
forgot
to
to tell
ask
you.
you how many people actually died, but I'm sure it would had to be at least a couple
Thousands.
thousand. Yeah,
Thousands.
so sad. I didn't even know there was a lime in here.
I put 2 limes in a lemon juice.
It's like soup.
Lemon
It's
juice.
soup now that the ice is melted. Okay. Anyway, I should make a grilled cheese. Oh, that sounds actually pretty bomb. Okay.
It's just gazpacho, basically.
Yeah, essentially. But better. Okay, so this is the Winchester Mystery House.
Ooh.
You've heard of it though, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I want to go
I have been.
really bad.
And I went when I was like 15. We went and did like a California family trip. You know, the whole hot spots with the, except when we went to LA, we only flew in there and then we were like, this sucks. Let's just keep going.
There's smog everywhere.
Yeah. And I just remember it taking forever just to get from point A to point B. Not so much because we didn't really sit in a lot of traffic. It was just because the city was so fucking big. So anyway, not that any of it matters. So we ended up, which I don't even know, where is like Disneyland and...
It's like in LA, near
It's in LA. So we must have gone there and that's all we did. We did like Disneyland and we did...
It's in Anaheim.
Anaheim. I'm like, I don't know, fucking my geography there. We did that, and we did at the time Knott's Berry Farm, which is the most adorable little place ever.
Does
it still exist?
Farm. Mm-hmm.
I
hope so.
It was like I was like, oh my god, it's like all the old carnival rides came here, and were dumped.
And they had really good fried chicken.
I don't remember eating that, but I remember like getting that was like the place that my cousin got kicked out of the petting zoo because he was riding the goats, and it was not good.
Oh my god, Knott's Berry Farm.
Yes.
Oh, so
but it was, you know what? I like that one because it was super campy. Everything was not shiny and new, and it was like something
in the trees.
Yeah, it was like something out of the 80s
in the forest.
Yeah, it was super cool. I liked it, and there was no lines because everybody was
Snoopy's
probably
everywhere.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Snoopy Woodstock.
So it was cool because there was like no lines because we had just gone to Disneyland. So we're like, this is amazing. They're like, that's because everyone's at Disneyland.
Did you go on Montezuma's Revenge?
Yeah, it was like a roller coaster, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember like
that's the only one.
Those were like the most hilarious roller coasters because they were like knocking you around. Like I think like actually like I started bleeding on my leg because it was like so rough. It was hilarious.
I think I was because I went there when I was little. I only went there once, but I think I was too scared to go on Montezuma's Revenge.
Oh no, it was
like 8.
and like these like teeny little roller coasters. So that one I think you might flip over. I'm not quite sure. Anyway,
Probably.
I don't remember. Anyway, so we did that little circuit, but I think we did that on the way back. But the first stop that we did was we were started to drive up, and so it had to take us what 3 hours?
Yep.
3 hours, and this was our first
4.
little stop was the Winchester Mansion, and I had no idea what it
You
was.
probably did. You drive up the 101 because you drove through fucking San Luis Obispo, Pismo Beach, Arroyo Grande, Napomo.
We probably did. I don't know. I wasn't paying attention because I was complicated and 15 and had my headphones on.
Shay's mom, did you guys drive the 101?
It's true.
Because that's right up my...
It was just a caravan of
Literal
Mexicans going down the road there. It's true.
Perfect.
No, because we were just like, what the fuck? Because we were seeing the signs, and I was like, I'm not making this up. But when I was at the time, everyone was like, you're dumb, Shannon. Like, you did not see that sign. I swear to God, I saw a sign, and they're probably still there.
Did it was open up your eyes?
What? Yes, it did. It was where I think it was like a warning that there were like Hispanics or people like that were running across, and it was like a dad and a lady running, and then the child was like being drugged. It was like the kid was like
it was a billboard.
No, it was like the caution signs. I swear to God, I saw this. It was like a mom, a dad. It was like a family, like a caution, like these families will be running across the street. Please don't hit them, like deer signs. But it was like, I swear to God,
You probably... What?
it was like a dad little thing and the mom little thing and then a child, but the child's feet weren't running. It was just like flying because it was being drugged by the dad. They still don't believe that I saw that. I swear to God I saw that.
I'm gonna cry right now.
I'm gonna probably have to look it up and show you, but I swear to God I saw that. And it wasn't like being mean. They're like, please be aware. Like, you might hit people. Just keep your eyes. And people still think I was lying. But anyway, I was not.
Wow.
Anyways, so those are the things I remember going up to the house.
That was right in Napomo.
So yes. So do you know anything about this house?
Didn't it like get built? Like she kept just building rooms to like get rid of the ghosts or something weird.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
or like trick the ghosts.
Yeah.
She would like
kind of like that. Yeah,
made trap doors and shit for the ghosts.
Yeah, pretty much. So
in her head,
this one
she needed to go to the
right. So this one is like more about kind of how just that this house was built for spirits, not so much that it was super super haunted. Mm-hmm. But anyway, and when I was there, I was like, I don't know if this. Everything was just so cheery and pretty and bright, and all like there was like these lavish fixtures everywhere. It was really pretty.
Was it like a fun house?
It kind of felt that way. Like I'll tell you why it was like a fun house. Anyway, so this insane house is in San Jose, California, like I just said, where this woman by the name of Sarah Winchester built this maze house due to a superstitious mindset.
I think it was a little more than a superstitious mindset.
It kind of, yeah.
Supercalifragilistic.
Yeah, it was something.
Superstitious.
It was something. Okay, so she was the widow of William Winchester, heir to the Winchester Repeating Arms Company. Pew!
Oh, cool.
To the gun company. So born around 1840, Sarah Winchester grew up in a world of privilege. For example, she spoke 4 languages, attended the best schools around, she married well, and she eventually gave birth to a daughter. I mean, that's not really special, but, you get the gist. The little girl's name was Annie. However, tragedy...
Every child is special.
They're a gift from Jesus. However, tragedy struck in her late 20s when Annie died just 6 weeks, at 6 weeks old from, I'm probably going to pronounce this wrong, Marasmus, which is essentially like a severe malnutrition. How that happened, nobody really knows. Yeah, but like nobody knows. Like people just say like, oh yeah, she just withered away and died. I'm like, that's not usually how children work, but call me crazy. Anyway, and that was also then followed by the death of Sarah's husband, William, more than a decade later from tuberculosis. That old chestnut. He should have gone to the little wingy wing.
Should have sent him over.
Because this was like
it was across the country.
Well, yeah, this was in 1881 when it was complete.
When it literally,
when it was all done. They could have just sent his ass to West Virginia, and they were on that side of the country. They were in New Hampshire, I believe. So Sarah inherited roughly $20 million. That was over $500 million in 2019. That
is
no, but wait, just wait. As well as 50% of the Winchester Arm Company, which left her with a continued income equal to about $1,000 a day, which would be equal to about $26,000 a day in 2019.
I would like to make $1,000 a day right now
by just sitting here. So she won the goddamn lottery every single day. So it's just like she woke up and she's like, I won the lottery again. Oh, I won the lottery again. Just for just being. So she inherited that. Who knows? I don't know if she really liked guns. There's a lot of mystery surrounding kind of her history. So
was she part of the Lutheran Sisterhood Gun Club?
She might have been.
Hashtag Drop Dead Gorgeous.
Watch it, live it, breathe it. I don't know what that was. Sorry. Okay, so, so she rich. So,
she a rich bitch.
She a rich bitch. But she was struggling with the loss of her husband and daughter, so she sought out the advice of a medium, as you do. And I can only hope that the medium was like somebody. Yeah.
1881?
This was about 1881. So I can only hope that it was somebody like Miss Cleo from the 1990s. Like, that's who I hope her medium was. Rest in peace. She hoped perhaps to get advice from the beyond on how to spend her fortune or what to do with her life. Because that's what you do. You just seek out. But she was I think she wanted to kind of reach to see if she could talk to her family beyond the grave. So, although the exact specifics remain between Sarah Winchester and her medium, the story goes that the medium was able to channel dearly departed William, who advised Sarah to leave her home in New Haven, Connecticut, so not New Hampshire at all, and head west to California. So she really could have just sent his little ass to the little tuberculosis. I mean, he probably would have died because, fresh air doesn't cure that shit, but whatever.
Hey, it helped.
Did it?
Stanley.
Oh, it did. It was a magical cure for him. Yeah. He did have tuberculosis, didn't he?
He did have tuberculosis, bitch. And then he hiked up the mountain.
He did, and he's like no
20
more.
times a day.
I think, honestly, he had like a twin. He just killed him, and
probably.
It's just, he was like,
and then that's what haunted.
Exactly.
Fucking, what's his name that wrote the book? Oh my God.
Stephen King?
Yeah.
Jesus. Probably. As far as
John Steinbeck?
yeah. As far as what to do with her money, William answered that he answered that too. So she was to use the fortune to build a home for the spirits of those who had fallen victim to Westchester rifles. Or she will be haunted for the rest of her life. She told her, if you continue building, you will live. Stop, and you will die. Which I wonder if like the medium had like any victims that had like were shot by these, and she was just like, you know what? I'm gonna make this bitch do good. I'm gonna make this bitch build a fucking house because I want some. I'm a petty fucking medium. Yeah. And I'm gonna be like, you know what? Fuck it. Like, go build a house.
What a weird request,
right? Like it's just like you will build a house, and if you do not, and it fucking worked. So in the sense like she believed it. So also, it wasn't even her gun company. So that's like somebody like saying like, but I didn't make the guns. I just, he died and it doesn't matter. Haunted. So that's what I would be like. Sarah would be like,
well, she obviously needed some answers and she was desperate.
Right. So unfortunately, whether the intention
and
of
she was rich, so maybe she was just getting taken advantage of.
She probably was, and so I'm sure the medium was like, I don't care.
I don't know, just fucking build a house till you die.
It's fucking past 5. I gotta go. Like, yeah. I don't give a shit. But it also had the like Jamaican accent, like Miss Cleo, in my head because it's just funny. Anyway, so it's 1884 at this point, and off to the west she goes. She buys a house and just remodels the hell out of it.
To say the least.
Yeah, Chip and JoJo eat your heart out. It was really late when I was writing me these notes. So here are just some quick stats of the home. From 1886 to 1922, construction like never really ceased as the original 8-room farmhouse grew into the world's most unusual and sprawling mansion, featuring 24,000 square feet. And how big was the place? Like
242.
I mean, so like a little bit of that.
But the same numbers.
Yeah.
242.
I was like, that's where I'm very
666.
Just like those. Numerology.
666 acres.
But it's a big fucking house. 24,000 square feet is humongous. So yeah, 10,000 windows, 2,000 doors, 160 rooms.
2,000 doors?
Yeah. So, well, I'll
Inside
tell you
and
why.
out.
Yeah. So 160 rooms, including 40 bedrooms and 2 ballrooms, 52 skylights.
Only 2 ballrooms?
And one was only like halfly finished. So it's like really like 1.5. Stupid. 47
What lazy asshole.
Right. For working men, 47 stairways and fireplaces, 17
Did the
chimneys.
men just like kill themselves building this house? Like,
well, I'll tell you like how she kind of did it.
crazy.
Yeah, she was crazy. So, 17 chimneys, 13 bathrooms, 6 kitchens, 3 elevators,
17 chimneys?
Yes. Like, so that's just a fucking banana number. So the number 13 and spider web motifs, which carried spiritual significance for her, occur throughout the house. So you actually, when you're like walking through, like you'll see like just like these beautiful stained glasses, but some of them will be like in like a spider web fashion, or you'll look up like you're walking through like one of these makeshift kitchens, and some of the kitchens would just be like these random. You'd be like walking through like a bathroom and then a bedroom and then just like this weird kitchen in the middle of like 3 different bedrooms. It was very bizarre. You would look up in like some of like those sea glasses and it would have like a pattern of a spider web on it. It was very weird. It also was originally 7 stories tall, but the 1906 earthquake fucked up the house, and instead of building up, she instead built out. So it's only 4 stories now. Only.
Damn, it was 7?
It was 7, but it like it.
Oh my
so
God.
what she did pretty much was, I think it like spooked her, and the only reason why it was still standing was because of like I guess it was built on a floating foundation, so it didn't crumble. But anyway, so yeah, it was 7 stories tall, but I guess she had blocked off a bunch of that got really fucked up, and she never repaired it, and she just closed off that part of the house. So she just built out.
And that's still there, right? That part of the house?
I think it is, but I don't know if you can get to it. Yeah. Let's see. She did not use an architect and added
clearly
and added to the building in a haphazard fashion. So the home contains numerous oddities such as doors and stairs that go nowhere. So you'll just like look up, you'll like look at a staircase and it just like goes up into the ceiling. Like it just looks like a weird.
But like,
whatever.
even if you don't have an architect, like you don't plan to do that. It's like that's strategic, right?
Can you imagine though if you were a builder that you were and the reason why she
Like,
was
they
doing
just-
it, she was, and I'll tell you how she was getting, how she was like how in her brain what she was doing. But can you imagine just like an architect going, "What the fuck? Like seriously?" Like, and
this for you.
I tried to kind of find a wage for them and I couldn't find anything because I had to be like, how much money would you have to make? Like you're building a staircase into the ceiling. You're just like, this fucking crazy fucking bitch. Like I swear to God. But if you're paying me enough money, you'd be like, fine, whatever. You're going to build a staircase? Whatever. I don't care. She's just like, okay, here's your staircase. You can have all the knickknacks on it. But anyway, so stairs that went to nowhere. Windows overlooking other rooms, which was weird.
Ew, she's creepy.
Yeah, but like, you would just like look and there'd just be like a bedroom and you were like walking down the stairs and there's it was like almost like she was building houses within
Inside.
houses. It was very bizarre. And if you're walking in
So
it,
yeah, she just like added on to something that was like
yeah, but then she was also, as she was building, she was still building that way. So it wasn't like separate strategic rooms. And when you're walking in it too, you felt actually like, it wasn't like this expanded, like this amazingly like roomy.
claustrophobic.
It felt claustrophobic. It was really weird.
And probably because it was so architecturally like fucked up that like it like kind of like centered like
it was a maze.
Balances
It was
you.
like a labyrinth. It was very weird.
You know those like fun houses like in old like ghost town like things where it's like the chairs like sitting on the wall and like it looks like you're going up but you're going down. Like it's like kind of reminds me
like
of that.
Yeah, there was also like there were cabinets that were flipped upside down. So I don't know if she ever stored anything in them, but they would just be a flipped up like upside down cabinet, and I'm not sure why. But I mean, I know why, kind of, but nobody really knows because she was fucking crazy. But anyway, stairs with odd sized risers, so like they would be like one would be like this tall, and then the other one would be like this little tiny one. It was very, very weird. I don't know if they're like, I hope like one of those ghosts that have like a weird gimp so they can't climb up the stairs. I don't know what she was thinking. I don't know what she was thinking. Doors that just open up to walls, just be like a blank wall. Trap doors, secret passageways, and a dangerous door on the second floor that just opens up to nothing, so you just fall out the damn house.
The dangerous door.
The dangerous door. So, out of 13 bathrooms in the home, only one was functional. So,
gotta trick those ghosts so they can't use the John.
Right? So, in an effort to confuse any ghost wishing to haunt a spigot, dead serious. That's what she did. She wanted to make sure that they didn't haunt like the wrong bathroom.
Faucets.
Yeah. Furthermore, she would sleep in a different room every single night in the Westchester house and use secret passageways to get from room to room so that no spirits could follow her. She's crazy. She employed a crew of carpenters who split shifts so construction would go on day and night, 7 days a week, 52 weeks a year for 38 years. They did not stop, like 24 hours a day. It was always being built on because again,
she spent her fortune.
She was listening to Miss Cleo, man. Dude, she could do this and it not make a dent in her fucking fortune. She was making, again, $27,000 in today's money a day. So even if like she spent all her money for that day, well, it would get just refilled at midnight. Like it was insane. So the contractors who worked on the house reported that Winchester having daily seances with local mediums in an effort to reach good spirits. These good spirits were reportedly consulted to find out how to best appease the spirits who she was allegedly building the house for. So these spirits are reportedly what called Winchester to make these so-called like illogical additions to the home. So it wasn't her. It wasn't even the spirits that haunted the place. It was like the spirits' cousins' girlfriends that wanted to change shit. Like it wasn't even, so like she was talking to like a ghost in like her seances, but it was like, no. But like Becky wanted it to be like this way. Well, can I hear this from Becky? Well, no, she doesn't really like you right now. So I'm going to tell you what Becky wants. Like, can you like, that's what this was. Like she wasn't even talking to the ghosts. it was
Because
just
there wasn't even ghosts of the house.
no, but like she was saying, like it was like the ghost messenger was talking to her. It was like it wasn't even like the actual ghost haunting it. So this is what these mediums were. I'm sure just taking advantage of this poor sick woman, essentially.
Jesus.
So yeah. So she wasn't even haunted by like sane ghosts. She was like haunted by schizo ones. But honestly, like if I was getting paid $26K a day, I'd be like, yeah, my cat told me his cat friend down the street wanted you to build like a 27 house cat condo, and then at the end of the day just set it on fire or you'll die. So whatever, or I'll shit on your pillow, I don't care. So like I'd be like, yeah, you know what, fuck it, I don't care, do it, doesn't matter, like fuck it, like seriously,
I don't have anything to lose.
I have nothing to lose because I'm still rich. It doesn't matter. So maybe she just didn't care. I don't know. Maybe she was bored. I have no idea. Because she probably never had to. I mean, I'm sure she never. I don't think she ever worked. Why would she have to? I don't know. So the work only stopped on September 5th of 1922 because Sarah died of heart failure in her sleep. It said that upon hearing the news of Sarah's death, the carpenters quit so abruptly that they left half-hammered nails protruding from walls, which is true because when you go through you can actually see some of where they just stopped, and there's actually still the nails that are just still sticking out. Like they were like literally like, okay, we're done. Seriously.
Someone killed her.
Yeah, probably with a small, tiny hammer.
I was just trying to give her a lobotomy. And
Right? It didn't
Whoops.
work. Whoopsie. So well. After her death, Sarah left all of her belongings to her niece, Marion, who had served as her personal secretary later in life. However, the Winchester Mystery House was never mentioned in her will, which was bizarre. So an appraiser essentially deemed...
It's for the spirits.
Yeah, probably actually. So an appraiser essentially deemed the house worthless due to the earthquake damage and its fucking weird ass design. It was sold in an auction to a local investor for over $135,000 and like leased for 10 years to John and Mamie Brown, who eventually purchased the house. In February of 1923, 5 months after Winchester's death, the house was opened to the public with Mamie Brown serving as the first tour guide. So, since her death, like little has been uncovered about Sarah and her reasoning behind her obsession with building the house the way that she did. She gave no interviews, left behind no journals, and had no family willing to speak about her, which was weird. Occasionally, visitors to the home will report feeling the spirits that have long resided in the home. Though of course paranormal investigators have turned up nothing. They really have turned zilch. But perhaps maybe there's some spirits still haunting the abode, which you kind of hope for, because I mean she spent her life's work doing this. So I hope it's a little haunted for her.
I think maybe she was just trying to find some sort of purpose because she literally didn't have any, and then when her husband and her kid died, she literally had no purpose.
It's true.
So she was like, well, I guess I gotta build this house
but
for the rest of my
maybe
life.
she didn't give a shit about the house because she didn't leave it to anybody. She's like, I don't give a fuck. Like, seriously, make it go away. Because she probably just thought it was cursed.
Yeah.
Anyway, so people feel like it's haunted. When I was there, I felt claustrophobic. And
It's probably just weird vibes.
Right. So there's actually environmental psychologists have theorized that the odd layout itself contributes to the feeling that the house is being haunted today.
I bet that makes a lot of sense.
Which it did feel like that. It just feels like somebody's watching you or following you.
A lot of weight on
yeah,
you.
like it just feels like somebody's watching you. But it's also because it's like if you were to go
Hurts
down
your eyes.
Well, yeah, that. But I mean, if you were, it's like if you were to go down like a long a windy hallway that have a lot of corners in it. You just feel like there's something behind you because you can't keep your guard up. And that's what it felt like, because you felt like
a fun house.
It was like a fun house, and it wasn't open. It was really, really claustrophobic. So I don't know. That's how it felt to me. I didn't really think it felt haunted. I just felt claustrophobic.
Yeah.
So that's what that's one theory. However, there are some stories of disembodied voices on the third floor, which is where the servant quarters were. A handyman that never left, after he crossed over, apparently can be seen from time to time, and you can see him rolling around the halls with his wheelbarrow, which I'm not sure why he'd be inside the house, but whatever. And and you can hear an audible sigh in the room where Sarah was when the earthquake happened. So, which is kind of a funny thing to me. Like, so an earthquake happens and you just hear this, like, that's what she did. And, like, didn't get me this time. Damn it. But apparently she was trapped in there for a long time. So it scared her. So I think I think it was the handyman that came and, like, got her out. So, and after that, she had boarded up that room too because it just freaked her out. So who knows? With all the mediums coming through and seances happening, I'm sure like something was there. I mean, I believe in that kind of stuff. So they probably opened something where some energy that they invited, whether intentionally or intentionally.
Yeah,
so I think something
seances
resides
going
there.
on.
But I don't think it's as haunted as like the freaking there's no bad energy there. There's no like icky shit going on. Also, in 2017, the Winchester House debuted their first new daytime tour in 20 years, the Explore More Tour. The tour takes guests through rooms never been open to the public and explores the rooms left unfinished at the time of Sarah Winchester's death.
Ooh.
So I want to go to that because I didn't get to go see that
That'd
shit.
be fun.
Yeah. And that's my short, quick little story of the Winchester House.
Well, that's fun.
Right? Wasn't
Know what I was?
spooky, but it was something.
It's
interesting.
weird.
Just again,
What people will do
but
because
she
of the
was
paranormal.
mentally ill. But she was mentally ill for sure.
Oh,
She was depressed and
she
so.
was
But instead, she didn't have to go to a
confused.
lunatic asylum. She's like, I got money. I'll just build a fucking
yeah.
house
She
around
had
me.
enough money to do whatever she
She
wanted.
just did whatever she wanted.
I was thinking about it because when you were talking about how you can hear a sigh in the room that she was maybe sitting in,
Yeah,
or whatever.
it's believed that it's Sarah Winchester
Yeah.
that's sighing. Yeah.
Well, I was thinking about it the other day because, like, and ghosts and stuff, and like when you're. Because when we were in the Stanley, how they're saying, like, some of the ghosts will, like, do their normal everyday rounds that they would normally do
What did
every
they call
single
them?
day.
It's two types of ghosts. It's like it was just whatever the one that's like they do the routine. They don't know you're there, and there's other ghosts that know that you're there. You're there, and they interact with you.
So I was thinking about, like, that routine where it's like, oh, they're doing their normal everyday thing, or the dog that goes and gets the paper every day,
Right.
or, you know, whatever. But it's like, and it's like ghosts are like a different type of energy, and it's like,
Right.
it makes me think, like, were those people's energy at that moment like so strong doing those things, like taking
Right.
care of their property or whatever,
Right.
that like it just lingers because that was something that was like such a strong energetic part of their everyday life.
And it could have
kind of
been.
thing,
Like, they just
that
did it
like
every
that
single day.
energy sticks around
And it totally could
too.
be.
I don't know. I have no fucking clue, but it was making me think about it.
No, that makes sense though. I mean, because again,
know what I
like
mean?
the Stanley talked about that, and I'm like, that makes a lot of sense.
And like the ghost of the fucking Titanic, the captain, you know, or whatever, you
Right.
know.
No,
I don't know.
but it's like again, like they say, like where you can hear the most like disembodied voices is in the servant quarters, and that's where everybody was all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So is it just the energy of just that hustle and bustle of just that there?
What it was, yeah.
You know. So, but I'm kind of surprised like they didn't have like then why and why do certain things. Why is certain energy there and like others not? Like I would imagine that if workers were there 24 hours a day for 38 years, that there would be some like, oh, I can hear hammers knocking or whatever because that's all they were doing. But
Yeah.
it's just interesting to see what sticks and what doesn't.
Yeah. And I definitely believe like I wonder if those are two separate things. Like if that's just lingering energy of like
Right.
like the Civil War thing, like how you can hear the battles happening still, like that kind of thing.
The children in the
And
basement.
then also like there's actual spirits that can like grab you or put, you know, or like
it's interesting to
that
see
because
like
they're not like on that routine. They're like free.
they're
to
there
do.
and haunted. They're there and they're like they're stuck there
It's
for whatever
yeah.
reason. It is interesting, and I don't really know what the science is. And I'm sure that's why people are wondering and why there's like a science thing about it.
But
Anyway.
anyways, it just got me thinking about that.
Just got you on the thought train.
Yes.
Toot toot.
The soul train.
Soul train.
The
Okay.
love train.
Okay.
I was like, wait, what's that song? Love train.
Yeah,
okay.
you're right. You're right.
Well, should we roll? Because I got to go teach children how to dip chocolate strawberries and
Oh, yeah.
make ice cream.
In 1 hour.
Oh, what time is it?
It's noon. Oh God.
Hell yeah.
I know. I went through that one fast. I I didn't jinx myself, and I was gonna say like this is gonna be a short one, and it really was.
That's fine.
No, it was good. I didn't want to jinx myself because I was like, every
Oh.
time I do that, and then I end up
it's
talking
like
for a
6
fucking hour.
hours.
Yeah. Anyway. All right.
Anyway.
Let me cough it
Hope you
out.
feel better.
I will. It's not
Better
horrifying.
take a nap the rest of the
I'm
day.
probably gonna.
Damn it. Good. What'd you get?
It's not crime.
It's food. No.
No, I think it might be science. Why am I not prepared? Shay.
Will you send me that too so I can have it? I want to draw a framed list of it.
It's science.
It is?
Yes. Damn it.
We need to talk about our topics. Because sometimes...
It's fine. I'm learning.
What if you do... Just kidding.
No, it's fine. Science. Holy shit.
Oh my god!
Double header again.
Uh-oh. The dice is rigged.
It is. Why can't we do crime double header? It's okay. That one time I was getting crime like 3 times in a row, so this is fine.
This is the universe saying...
The balance of the universe.
You need to balance your life.
With some science and not just crime science.
Yeah. Hey, you could still do that.
Although I kind of want to do... I have a good one for crime just because I'm like, oh, I kind of forgot about that. And there's like some new developments in the case. But I'm not going to say.
That's exciting.
I know. Anyway.
Developments. All right. Well,
Yeah.
I guess double dose of science.
I know.
We won't make
I'll
a
put
snow
my
volcano.
best monotone voice on for you.
And this is what we do. What if
True.
we had like science and health? Health is
Body
science.
There's a lot of things that are
is-
science.
You're right.
Anyway.
Science can be anything.
It could be anything.
Literally.
Absolutely.
The science of...
I could cheat and do like DNA science. I'm like, and it solved this crime. I won't do that, you guys.
You
I'm
do
not
your
a cheater.
DNA science, except you already did.
I did. I was like, and
Damn
I'm
it.
not a German.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
All right. Well, we'll figure out what we're gonna do for science, and we'll see you guys next week. Don't forget
There it
to
is.
follow us on 30ish on Instagram. THURDYISH. Yes, it's spelled wrong because I don't know about y'all, but I don't spell shit anymore very right sometimes.
Oh,
What?
what?
I can't spell shit or talk
There it is.
or speak.
There it is.
Anyway, thank you for listening to us every week. We love you guys. If this is your first time listening, welcome. Hopefully,
It won't be your
You
last. There it is.
listen to some more. We just like to fucking talk about shit we like. So
I like
here
when you
you
don't
go.
know when to stop and like you just like, I don't know how to end my sentence.
And I don't know where my hands
And you're
go.
just like asking for my cues. And I'm just like, I want you to let
I
you
just
run.
like look at Shay
Yeah.
like,
I'm like,
do I keep going?
Because usually I reach over to the thing and like it's like the
Yeah.
like the Oscar music and I'm like,
That's pretty much what it is. And I'm like, oh, is she going to push it?
Nope.
Maybe she is. All right. Well, we'll see you guys later. Thank you. We love you. And
goodbye now.
bye-bye.